Si Ronald Holmes is on Zoom right now,
Okay.
joining us to talk about the latest
Sige,
Pulse
go.
Asia survey. Sir, magandang umaga. Sorry, ano ba ngayon? Hapon. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome back to Storycon.
Magandang hapon. Magandang hapon sa inyo
Hi,
lahat.
Professor.
Hi, Professor. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Pro.
Hi,
Prof,
Prof. Hi, fellow professor.
yung tukayo ninyo. Prof, I'm looking at the numbers again. And I don't bother to look at the top six anymore. I'm more concerned and I'm more interested with the bottom six and the ones past the bottom six. So si Camille Villar mukhang nasa safety zone. Samantalang si Ipe, si Marcoleta ay lumalapit doon sa sa winning 12. And Kiko is down. Am I reading this right compared to the previous to the previous Pulse Asia survey?
Boked yung kay Philip at saka yung kay Marcoleta, actually bumaba yan compared to the last survey na kung saan ay pareho silang basically mas
Pasok
malapit
sila.
or in contention. Halos lahat sila bumagsak. Kasi ang
Yes.
ginamit namin dito ay balota na at nakikita nito sa report, yung fill-up rate natin by area bumaba. For example, sa balance of Luzon, naging 6 na lang ang pinipiling pangalan. Sa Metro Manila,
6
8.
lang? Okay.
Dati sa Visayas, Mindanao, 12 yung mayorya ng botante. Ngayon ay 10 na lang. So, ibig sabihin parang nababawasan pa yung kanyang binoboto. So, may mga areas sa Mindanao na makikita mo yung 10 lang ang binoboto nila. Pero may nasisingit. Nasisingit si Bong Revilla, nasisingit si Manny Pacquiao. So, hindi natin masabi kung sino talaga yung delikado kasi dikit-dikit Pag tingnan mo yung numero nila, essentially, ang pagkakaiba lang nung Cayetano down to Marcos or Bam Aquino, who is in contention, ay wala pang 4 na puntos.
Yan ang napansin ko, Professor, out pa rin si Amy Marcos, no, from the Magic 12. Hindi nakuha, hindi nagkaroon ng bump, no? Yung mga
Mukhang
recent high-profile stories about her.
Mukhang hindi pa nagre-resonate at mukhang hindi rin, pag tingnan namin yung numero, binigdan mo by region, bumaba pa siya sa region 1 namin.
Bumaba siya actually, yeah.
Sa region 1. Mismong sa region niya. So, at hindi ba siya nagpipick up sa ibang region na malakas sa mga Duterte. So, hindi
Yes.
natin alam kung ito'y dahil sa hindi pa katagalan yung endorsement at hindi pa nagre-resonate yung kanya advertisement. At ang kulay ay yung kulay na kasuotan ko. Hindi ibig sabihin ako'y nakikipagpuksa sa kanila. Pero, yun ang problema, no? Hindi siya pumapasok at hindi siya nakikinabang pa sa ngayon doon sa endorsement. Wala laman natin yan batay sa mangyayari sa actual na election kung bibit-bitin ba talaga siya.
Prof, yung binanggit nyo na maraming kandidato na magkakadikit, practically 4 percentage points. Sila ba yung nagtatalo for the last seat or the last 2 seats?
Hindi lang last seat Parang halahati nung tinitingnan natin dito Pag tingnan mo,
Mataas
tayo
yun,
simula kay Ben Tulfo, pababa kay Bam Aquino, ang difference niya ay 8 percentage points. At naglalaro talaga, no? And everyone actually declined. So in the case of, let's say, the biggest decline we saw in the survey is si Bato de la Rosa, 7.7, si Erwin Tulfo, 8.7 points. So, hindi natin malaman kung ano mangyayari sa eleksyon. Kasi nung mga nakaraang eleksyon, we did surveys closer to election day. We failed to publish it because we got the results later. And we saw the increase in terms of voting support for those who eventually ended up number 1, and the decline in terms of voting support for those who were in number 9. If you remember, in 2022, I think Joel Villanueva was out of contention in the April survey. He eventually landed number 9. So in that sense, what was the reason behind Joel Villanueva's increasing support? Those would be in areas probably that he had negotiated support from local politicians or in areas where he can mobilize support. So that's not
GIL
counted
yun
in the survey. That's not counted in the
Jesus
survey.
is Lord, John.
Hindi, pero
Maaaring Jesus is Lord dami, pero hindi natin alam kung gaano marami
maliit
member ng
lang,
Jesus is
maliit
Lord.
lang ang Jesus is Lord Mukhang dinala si Joel ng Iglesia, ng KOJC, ng Evangelicals, at saka ng Jesus. Halos lahat dinala siya. Dinala siya ng Duterte, ng Marcos, ng Lenny. Lahat dinala siya Kaya nakapasok siya talaga. Walang kumontra sa kanya. No? Yung magkakalaban ng mga presidente, dinala siya halos lahat.
So,
Mukhang
essentially,
nakikita na walang influence yung KOJC, no? Ang baba-baba ni Kibuloy eh.
alam naman natin na bloated yung numero ng KOJC, no?
Ah.
Actually, lahat halos ng mga yung mga grupo na religious na labas sa institutional church katulad
Down
ng
sila.
El Shaddai, Jesus is Lord, KOJC. Ang
Yeah.
hirap bilangin yan eh. Ang INC, ang aming tantya, batay na rin sa census, ay mga 2 million at most, no? Or it can be even low as 1.5 million. It will make a difference in terms of those who are in the 9 to 12 position. Because if we're saying that out of that 1.5 million, 80% will comply, then that's quite a huge number. It can bump up the number of someone who is endorsed by the INC.
Pero ang sinasabi mo, Prof, 4 or even more slots are in contention because of your latest survey. Yun ang pinapakita.
Yeah, basically, anim eh.
So,
Pwede
4 to
gumalaw
6.
kasi nasa baba nila eh. The lower half, hindi sigurado yan eh. So, yun ang problema natin dyan. Hindi natin masabi na yung last 2 positions lang. Maaaring yung anim na yan eh. Kasi dikit-dikit sila eh. Pag tingnan mo, si Ben Tulfo in the last 3 surveys, patuloy siyang bumababa. Si Lito Lapid parang nag-fluctuate. Si Abby Binay bumaba ng 5 puntos dito sa survey na ito. Si Pia Cayetano halos 8 puntos sa binaba. Si Willie Revillame patuloy rin ng pagbaba ng kanyang numero simula nung Enero. So,
Pero malaki rin yung binaba.
aakyat,
Malaki rin yung binaba ni Bato, more than 7 points.
it's more than 7 points, 7.7 points. Tapos ang umakyat lang actually dito, dalawa lang eh, and marginal pa. Si Bongo na 0.3 percentage points at si Bernal Abalos 2.6 percentage points. So, hindi natin alam kung aakyat pa si Abalos, si Kiko Pangilinan, malaki rin binaba niya. So, it's very hard to predict, basically.
Sir,
Prof,
yung fill-up
Prof,
rates
hindi
niyo,
ba,
sir.
that's pretty common, no, Prof? Like 5 or 6 names vying for the last 2 spots. I remember the 2022 elections were also pretty hotly contested. Di ba usual lang yun? And how important is this last push, these last 7 days?
Well, basically, this is where the what's this mobilization capacity of these
Machinery.
candidates would make a difference. So, and by mobilization capacity, it means essentially whether they will be carried by the local politicians that they shook hands with. Right now, for example, in the news today, the news report is that Cebu, Gwen Garcia, has endorsed the 10 Alianza members. But we know, based on survey data, that the Alianza members are not doing that well in Cebu. So will Gwen Garcia's endorsement make a difference? That's a big question here. Can she really mobilize support for those that she's endorsing? Or is the endorsement just a mere endorsement, which would not really have an effect in terms of voting disposition? So that's really the question here. And unless we do the observations on the ground, the last time I did that was in 2016, we would not be able to say essentially how those endorsements would really make a difference. Pero malaking papel yan, malaking bahagi yan ng maaari makapagbago.
Merong pwedeng mangyari, Prof, in this election na medyo naiiba. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na mangyayari. Pero kung halimbawa, ang Iglesia ni Cristo at saka JIL for the first time ay hindi mag-endorse ng 12 kandidato. Kung i-endorse lamang nila ay mas kaunti, about 6 to 8. First time mangyayari yan, usually kasi kinukumpleto nila. Anong epekto niyan? Will that help dun sa mga nasa bandang dulo?
Well, kung ang hindi endorse ay yung nasa taas, tukayo, yun ang may epekto. Kasi pag in-endorse mo yung nasa taas, kahit mag-endorse ka nung nasa baba, hindi babawasan boto yung nakakataas sa kanila. It really depends on who the INC will endorse. No? If the INC will endorse those who are now in the top 10, then it will make a difference if they're endorsing people who are in the 14th or 15th position.
Mukhang ang endorse nila, hindi ko naman sinasabi na yun ang mangyayari. Mukhang endorse nila ay kalahati nasa top 10 at kalahati ay wala labas ng top 10.
Yeah, mukhang ikaw ng bagong executive minister. Pero,
Wala yun, hula lang.
yeah, but really, if they're endorsing, let's say, the top 6, and they're endorsing people who are, like, let's say, now landing on 13 to 18, then it may make a difference because essentially they're wiping out the numbers who could have actually added to the bottom 6, no? The ones who are, let's say, from the 7th to the 12th position right now. But that's really, well, we have not seen that type of endorsement on the part of the INC. What we've
Yes.
seen on the part of the INC generally is that they will endorse most of the ones who are really in
Winning.
contention,
Yeah.
with the exception of maybe
Kung
one or two.
sigurista.
Pero ngayon iba,
So-
mukhang iba ngayon.
Sir, I'm
Well-
looking at your the fill-up rates that you publish. 6 yung Balance Luzon ng median tsaka yung mean versus Mindanao na nasa 9 or 10 depending on whether you look at mean or median. Is this this usually the case or is this unusual for this particular election? And what does this mean? Does this mean people in Luzon are not as interested or they don't have too much choices?
Well, basically, NCR and the Balance of Luzon have lower fill-up rates, no, in the surveys that we've conducted over the past few months. Yung Visayas and Mindanao have had mean and median of 11 and 12. That it has declined to 9 and 10 might indicate essentially some sort of, what's that, a tendency towards black voting. Which would not be good for the Alianza if this happens to be Mindanao. Because in the case of
Yeah.
Mindanao, of course, that's
Ang laki ng
24% of the voting population. The question is whether that 24% will turn out. And then the other question here is that in NCR, we're seeing a decline in terms of support for those who are in the Duterte. So, medyo nakangangat sila nung March, pero ngayon mukhang bumababa yung supportan nila sa NCR at Balance of Luzon. So that's the reason why Philip Salvador and let's say Marcoleta did get into contention in
Last
March.
month.
And
So totoo yung
we-
sinasabi nyo, Professor, na yung nangyari last March is basically a consolidation, not a surge.
Well, basically activation and consolidation of their base. It's an activation of the base. It's a pero beyond that base, they will really have to strategize on how they can secure support in the other areas. And that's really, I don't know the capacity of the Duterte to do that. The administration can do that. In 2019, if you remember, si Francis Tolentino was not in contention in the April survey, eventually landed number 12 or 11, if I'm not mistaken. The one who was out then was si Bam Aquino. So yun yung ano, no, yun yung question sila JBL, sila Bam Aquino na wala no kung
Professor, yung last 6, kapag ganyan ka-close yung laban sa last 6, malaking bagay yung machinery, no?
malaking bagay
Ito, itong final week na to.
malaking bagay makinarya.
So,
Yeah.
pwedeng mag-iba talaga ng husto yung final 6 na yan.
At mayroong dalawang level yung makinarya na yan, Ami. Yung makinarya ng probinsya na malalaki ang populasyon at
Yes.
yung makinarya ng pambansang pamahalaan na maaaring paglawin ang iba't ibang grupo batay sa kanilang kakayanan. No? And pag sinabi natin kakayanan, alam na nito kayo yan. Iba't
Yes.
ibang klase yan.
Prof, what can be done in the practically last week? May mga kandidato kasi na nagbabago ng messaging. Parang hindi na siya ganun ka-effective during the last week. Sabi nyo nga, it's basically machinery. So wearing your political scientist hat, what can they do itong last week na ito?
Buti
Sino
sana
yung
kung may
nagbabago ng messaging?
Buti sana kung may sombrero pa ako eh. Hanapin ko lang sombrero.
Senator Abalos.
Wala na masyadong epekto yung pagbabago ng mensahe kasi nga ika nga ng ilang mga strategists, the ones who are in communication, that is something that is important prior to the filing of candidacy, prior to the formal campaign and in the early campaign period. At this point, what you're trying to do is really make sure that your name gets into many of the sample ballots, make sure that you're in a negotiation and in agreement with many of the local politicians. Ang ginagawa ng mga kandidato ngayon, pumupunta na sa mga probinsya, kinakamayan na yung mga governor, kinakamayan na yung mga mayor ng mga highly urbanized cities. So, dito parang nagkakaroon ng kasunduan. At kung walang kasunduan, parang goodwill lang, no? Pero hindi natin alam kung magde-deliver sila.
Basically,
Yun yung
machinery. Basically,
Yun yung
machinery.
makinarya ang aasahan nila, kung yung makinarya ng lokal. Kasi yung national, ang meron lang talaga niya yung administrasyon. At hindi ko alam kung well-oiled ba yung kanilang machinery at mukhang medyo divided. No? Kasi kung divided, it would not in any way matter.
Who is changing their messaging, Ronald?
Halimbawa, si
I
Abalos.
think dapat natin tanungin dyan si Tocayo eh. Mukhang si former Secretary Abalos, nagbago na siya, solido na yata siya. From Bilis Action to solido. Si Jaime Marcos had changed, no? Her messaging. Although nandun pa rin yung Jaime Solution. Naging itim at ngayon ay may lusong, no? Lulong pala. Ako
Lulong.
yung lusong sa datos ngayon. Iba yung lulong sa lusong.
Lulong.
Medyo
Nalulong.
hindi natin alam kung it would
Nalulong
make
sa
a
dalawang
difference.
ilog.
Pero yun ang makikita natin on May 12.
Hindi nagkaroon ng traction yung yung black against
Itim.
white, yung darkness.
Itim.
Yung ganong spill.
For
I
a
don't know.
few
Hindi nagkaroon ng traction,
I don't know actually how long they've been playing it up and were at what point. But yun, it did not register the survey.
Okay. Maraming salamat for joining us this afternoon, Pulse Asia Research President Ronald Holmes.
Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.